Okay, that's what this is. It's big. And I think the winner, there's going to be huge drama. Wait, are you going to do an announcement?
Elimination match.
Thank you. See, that was pretty good, right? That was pretty good. We have the elimination match between Meth and Faxes and Quantify. On Wing 1, Veil Guardian, Gorse Von Savage, some of the best bosses in the game in terms of design, and also they are a lot of fun to play as well.
First rank that's come out, and it's still one of my favorite wings up until this day. I enjoy this wing so much. These bosses are great. This is gonna be a great match.
Yep, honestly, it really is.
Great wing, great guilds, great classes, and there we go. See things
off
moving.
They go, going for the port, and then they glide down to the middle. Right to that blue guardian, then start pulling them all together to get going. The epidemic will really help out here, and of course in the split phases of the actual boss.
And this is, we have seen this in past matches, that the Scourge comp really already sets you so far ahead on this pre-event, right? You save so much time versus the Ellies here, just because you don't have to rely on that one Condi class to burst down the red guardian. But they're all going to go down at rather similar times. Thanks to Epidemic.
Yep, it's a good skill.
TT using MOA on their Chronos. I am fairly certain that MNF will be using Gravity Well for the triple simultaneous CC.
We've got the we have a Reaper perspective here. I think we'll say with the Reaper perspective for MNF actually, which is kind of cool. And then for we have a Necro and a Mesmer here for QT, Subi, and Fennec, of course. And it looks like QT maybe a little bit ahead here, moving into the actual boss. Hard to say exactly. The stream's a little bit separated. Let's see if I can maybe get a bit closer to the reality. Yeah, there we go. Actually, oh yeah, there we go. That's a little bit more in sync. These are the most in sync ones. We will probably try and stay with the streams that are most in sync, because that is going to be the best for the viewing pleasure of our audience. Both of these guilds going for this middle strategy, a very aggressive strategy designed to give you the most damage, making it the quickest way to get through these phases. And also, it makes it nice and easy because the Seekers just come towards you very quickly, so you can epi bounce off them very effectively. They'll be using the Soul Beast, right, for and the Druid for entangles here, to make sure the Seekers don't get too close, because although you are playing Necro, it's still really going to hurt. And MNF taking a bit of, I think they're a little bit ahead here, actually. Going into the split phase just a few seconds before QT.
And this split phase is so quick with these Necros, with these Epis. They melt so fast.
Oh no, QT killed the Blue Guardian too fast. They might not be able to epi off of it in time.
That green is going to take
Blue Guardian very slowly.
Boy.
You have to, yeah, they didn't cost them, but they did kill it too fast. You have to kind of delay just a slight bit to give the other Guardians time to get close enough to epi.
MNF having quite a significant lead here. Now it really is quite a bit of a lead for MNF. The timers are equal here, and MNF already approaching the second split phase already. Wow,
boy.
that NA Necro pedigree really paying off here. They are considerably ahead of QT right now.
Looks like QT's tank got teleported. Did I see that wrong?
I'm not totally sure on that. I mean, of course, QTR.
The Guardian was moving.
Their second phase is a lot slower, if I see this right. They had that green explode way.
That split phase is beautiful to witness. On
MNF.
They are really, it is on point both rounds.
Yeah. Very crisp, really lovely execution there from MNF. I mean, of course, I imagine that plenty of these players were actually involved in the actual original record kill for Veil Guardian, so they're probably pretty happy with at least having to play this boss, at least. Veil Guardian definitely good for MNF to actually compete against. And Veil Guardian is going down right now, really. It's just going to be a few seconds. Those Condis melting him. I don't even want to see the DPS. It is probably disgusting how much damage these Necros are doing right now. And that's it.
And there we go. We are going to the Spirit Run for MNF.
Which we all know is the absolute hardest event of them all.
Yeah, and you know what?
Not the Spirit Run, but the pre-event for that.
But it is surprising how much time you can actually gain here. Like, this is a time-gated event, right? Yet, and this is a traumatizing experience for me, because when we played against QT on this, they made up like 30 seconds on this. So this is again one of these pre-events where you can make up a lot more time than you would think.
And QT just managed to take this down. Just one thing to consider, guys. The ban is not Berserker here. It is a base warrior. Okay, they did change that up to make the bans identical to MNF, in fact.
MNF not that far ahead because they had a little bit of trouble switching classes as quickly as QT.
And again, this is one of QT's big strengths, right? These events being quickly jumping into these events, stacking those mobs together.
Really fluid transitions between everything in the wings. That is a really big advantage.
This was QT's great strength in the previous tournament. They had a very smooth passage through all of the environments of the raid wing, which gave them some big edges, and we're seeing that pay off here, really. But they do still have a bit of catching up to do. Going into the Spirit Run, and of course Gorseful. There's not too much time saves to be had, really. There will be a time save dealing with the Bandit event, but the bosses here are very straightforward, and that is a concern, I think.
Yeah, and the thing in MNF's favor is they've shown that they're pretty good on Scourge relative to QT, and that's going to be a thing at Sabbatha. So if MNF can keep it close going into Sabbatha, they'll have a big advantage. But the run between Gorseful and Sabbatha is a chance for QT to show their strength and either claw back to a close or to take a lead themselves.
Exactly. And it really was a... well, so go ahead, Yumi.
I think MNF is going with 8-man for Gorseful, and QT is opting for the 7-man. So that means they might have 10 people for... could possibly for Sabbatha.
Yeah, and well, yeah, that should gain them a little bit of time, but they probably won't lose too much on Gorseful. It is, and obviously QT is, I mean, QT love Gorseful as well. This is the boss that they like to beat up in their spare time, right? So I think they're probably going to be very confident with the 7-man Gorseful.
The question is, what will save which team more time, right? Is it really worth to bring another DPS class for Gorseful rather than, like, I mean, that's a potential epidemic on Sabbatha, right? That's a potential.
Yeah. And Sabbatha is the longer boss as well, so it's advantageous to have those extra players on the longer encounters in the raid wing.
So I'm not sure if this will... Then again, I mean, it might, you know, the split phases again, it might pay off in the split phase on Gorseful. It really depends on, then again... It really depends on that tactic too. Like, I would be like, because if you let the spirits run to the middle on Gorseful, right? If that's your tactic, if that's your base tactic, then you don't really save any time by bringing another DPS class, because you're gonna have to wait for them to run to the middle, and then they pretty much die immediately, right? That's the point of the strat. So, I'm really like I'm not sure if this is gonna pay off for them.
All right, MNF's on their last portal. Once they close this, the event over, and they will be doing the Spirit Run proper.
Exactly, it will soon be all over. This is a...
and that will not be time gated.
No, this is something that they can accelerate. They can make this a little bit quicker by skipping some stuff, using the portals to teleport over some of the things, so they don't even have to stand in them. They can just DPS the walls. In fact, you could actually go ahead and trigger them anyway. It turns out that it really doesn't matter that much at all because of how much DPS you can actually bring to bear these days.
Lux will be going down at the very end of the event, and he is the Mesmer.
Oh,
no, he's actually not the Mesmer.
They're going to go for the
portal.
They're going to go for the res on him. Okay, so he's not in charge of the portal. So actually, resing him is correct there. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, the portal is open there. Quick refresh on the cooldowns and through the portal.
It did cost them some time.
Yeah,
and again, this is their advantage, right? This is where they have to have the time, and this might have cost them some of that advantage.
MNF already moving on, but there really is not much between these two teams right now. The champion being destroyed by Quantify here. But MNF already approaching the first wall in the Spirit Run. This is actually starting to swing in favor of MNF a little bit more than it was after Veil Guardian.
They do have the extra player, so it will help them here quite a bit.
Yeah, this will make this pre-event a little bit quicker, that's for sure. Because this is not a time gate. This is something that you can make a bit quicker by having more damage, by breaking these walls down quicker.
Oh boy, and this is one of these cases where you're so tempted to, in your choice of comp, to just think about the boss, right? But how will this affect the pre-event? If they actually make up for a couple of seconds on this might actually be worth it.
I'm very curious to see what type of druids people run at Sabbatha. Obviously, in weekly clears, we would use Condi Druid, but it's obviously not the safe choice. And when you're low manning, you might need all the DPS you can get.
I'm expecting all-out aggression, to be honest. I think we're going to see pure aggression with nothing held back. It is, if executed correctly, and especially with the abundance of Necros, I don't think they'll need the additional sustain of a healing druid. And so they might as well just go for extra DPS.
Yeah, definitely. And the Chronos could always take all as well.
Yeah, so you can have that extra little bit of healing there as well. And MNF is done. Ooh, a nice lead for them.
The advantage of having Condi Druid is you can put Condi Druid on one of the cannons and just have everyone not take damage for 10 or 15 seconds.
MNF not losing any time. They're going for those buttons. I'd love to see the jumping puzzle right now, because obviously, I mean, that's the only thing you could possibly.
Yeah, that's why you can fail it. You can slip off that, but nope, that is not going to happen, and they're going straight over to Gorseval. Beginning, of course, this is a boss where, you know, the Elementalists are in abundance here. Weavers, it's a pretty good class here, guys. But that's not a problem, because they can get rid of that Weaver now, and they can use. All they need is to have Scourge for the final boss. QT though, now approaching the buttons.
Besides the Weaver.
Well, I wonder if they probably have a Renegade, I would imagine, so they can probably get rid of that, and then probably one type of Warrior. That's probably the way they're going to go there. Yeah, MNF already, already approaching the first phase of Gorseval, doing a lot of damage here.
It hard.
Yeah, Weaver's doing some serious work.
Very smooth transition.
Yeah, they don't have to wait for this, right? I mean, they deal so much damage with these Weavers nowadays, right?
Yeah, and having the eighth player means that they can go a lot more aggressively on stuff like the
yeah. And QT just starting Gorseval. After MNF has already got to the first spirit phase. Let's see it looks like they are going to kill 2 of them, and that the other 2 go in and then maybe try and cleave those down there, so saving a little bit of time. They're not having to go, individually through all of them, of course, which will be a pretty nice time save here for MNF, and they will begin to approach the next phase after that.
Actually, you know what? I've seen this being done wrong so many times, right? If you let them run just that little bit closer, you could have DPS both of them at the same time instead of even with one lava font, you could have hit them both. And a little bit of an early entangle. I saw this in earlier wing ones as well, but not sure if this is like. People don't know about this, or whether people are maybe a little bit too eager on their entangles there.
Yeah, there's a pretty significant gap right now. And QT, I mean, it will only be extended right now, as MNF having an additional player will make their Gorseval a little bit quicker, and they are kind of powering ahead a little bit, going into the second spirit phase, whereas QT not having finished the first one. They are going for the same strategy, though, getting that big cleave, as you were mentioning. Like, both of the spirits are getting hit there by the lava fonts, so that's, and they are trying to keep up here, but it's a bit of a struggle.
Exactly what I said, right? I'm not sure if this is going to save them so much time. Is this going to save MNF so much time to have that extra play on Gorseval? Because they're not really significantly speeding up their split phase with this very effectively right now. So is the extra time gain on the pure DPS phases, is it enough? Will it be enough?
Will it be enough? That is the question, guys.
Yes!
It absolutely is.
Stay tuned.
And MNF are on the final stretch. All they have to do is take down Gorseval, and they'll be moving straight on to Sabbatha with a quite comfortable lead, actually. But they will have a lower player for Sabbatha, and that potentially...
That one click down.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a factor where class swapping and the way they plan out this instance is a really big deal, but Gorseval is going to be dying in just a few seconds. QT trying to scramble to the end of that split phase, whereas MNF are going to be going on to clear out the bandits.
They lost one guy just right at the end.
He probably GG'd, do you think?
Probably. It was yeah.
Yeah, I would say they probably went for a GG there just to maybe assist with class swapping. And yeah, as suspected, the bans there are going to be the Daredevil, the Renegade, and the Weaver for MNF. QT, 30% to go on Gorseville before they can move on to the final boss. This has got to be a very tense moment for both of these guilds. They know that even one mistake, you know, it is quite easy, right, to die on Sabbather at the end of the day. There is that one-shot mechanic. You can get kicked by a thug, you know? You can, you know, take too much cannon fire, or there's a bad flak. Things can go wrong. You lose a player, that's a deficit that you're going to really struggle to keep up with. You're going to lose more DPS, and you're going to find yourself in a very uncomfortable situation indeed.
MNF definitely has a rather comfortable lead right now. It's definitely a lot of time, actually. So this will be super clutch.
Yeah. QT finishing off Gorseville, and he'll be dying in just a few seconds. There it is. And this is where that extra player needs to do work for them. Oof. Let's see if they can make it happen. Are they going to be relogging 2 Necros, I wonder, though? Because we see Fennec still on his Weaver, going to... Oh, he's actually on Tempest, actually, to help clear out the ads. And MNF are actually pretty much all the way done with these bandits. All stacking them up in a corner and cleaving them all down in an efficient and quick fashion. Okay, they have no hope against Meteor Sharon being burnt to death by lava. And that means they're on the final section. They're going to be rushing forwards onto Sabbather. Just a quick relog from MNF, almost certainly, to start stacking those Necros up.
MNF not that far ahead.
Taking a little bit long on those last two.
The difference is very minuscule.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't. They need one more. Oh, they have it. Okay, it's right there.
Wait, what?
For a second, I thought they had missed the bandit.
Oh, no. No, they got it down.
That would have been a very.
It really is going to come down to the very, very last.
Yeah, this is disturbing. I think this is disturbingly close, right? This is worryingly close. I think
we get one match today that doesn't give me a heart attack.
Yeah,
this is way too tense.
This is
too much for me. I just came out of the
hospital. You guys gotta make Roka lay down again.
So,
yes, I need. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think MNF is going to have a 20-second or so lead, but they have a fewer player. They have one less player.
Which, on Sabbatha, if it's an extra LP, that's a lot.
It's a potential big deal. That is a potential big deal. And QT are now rushing for it. Gonna quickly swap over some skills.
One thing that does come into play when you're low manning Sabbatha, especially with a heavy Scourge comp, is that you don't have a lot of CC for Knuckles, especially the second Knuckles CC if your DPS is a little slower, and that can really bite you in the.
And it seems like MNF is about 20% ahead of us, if I saw this correctly.
Yeah, it looks about accurate. Yeah, they just phased, so just a little bit over 20%. Is that equivalent to one player? This is very close.
They're easily going for that extra damage and skipping the first cannon.
Yeah, that will be
about that damage right now. They just gotta push it.
No, that will be an important component of this, right? That will be an important component at the end of the day. How aggressive these teams are going to be with these cannons is going to make a big difference, because that means you lose DPS. Well, you will lose the DPS uptime if you go up to get those cannons. So not doing that, although making it a little bit risky, making the cannons fire on the platform, not only damaging the platform, but also covering it in some very powerful AoEs, can be a little risky.
Choose to go for that first cannon, whereas MNF chose to skip it. So right now you see this is a bit of a little bottleneck there, right? This is the one offside. If you get the two cannons that are opposite to each other, you get them overlaying in the middle. So that's actually kind of the only real noticeable downside of the trap.
By my count, at the first split, the MNF was ahead by 34 seconds.
This is going to be very close, actually.
Yeah, we're not even seeing
15% difference.
Yeah,
they are making up some time there.
They really are.
Did they just miss a
I
green?
think they missed a cannon, yeah. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. Only 2 cannons up, that's fine. That's not a big deal. They can deal with that. They probably don't want to miss another one, though, because if they miss another one, that's when it starts to get a little bit hectic.
I mean, you can just go south now, right? Because these are overlapping. You could just send somebody south now. And you would almost have.
QT is on Knuckles. Oh no!
Oh lord!
They are catching up.
They really are catching up. Wow, QT has really got some ground here. I'm starting to think that QT might be able to actually take this.
This is definitely show QT's strength when it comes to a stationary boss.
Yeah.
Missing that cannon MNF.
If the boss stands still, QT has got it no problem.
It's actually seen a difference of 20% health. 15.
13. Yeah.
It is getting smaller and smaller.
That's how good Epi is, man. Like Epi is so good.
Yes.
The more the better. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But, MNF doing
MNF gets the phase. They get the phase.
QT also has 3 cannons up right now.
Yeah. I think QT's going YOLO. They're going pretty YOLO. I think that's what's happening here, right? Yeah, really YOLO from QT, but they need it. They need it. They cannot let up at all. And there they go, they spawn card. This is gonna. Oh my god, what is happening? What am I watching? Seriously, this is insane.
Oh no!
Oh, a downstate on MNF side. Oh
No.
yeah. Oh, they got
All of those cannons are now
A lot of cannons up. There's a lot of pressure going into MNF. Can they get that? Isn't that the druid? I think that's the druid.
Yeah.
In the downstate, they really can't afford that. Wait, Subi went up for a cannon because I think like QT have 4 cannons up or something completely ridiculous like that.
It's a fiesta.
It is a fiesta, but it's also a very, very close fiesta.
12% versus 18. Oh god, this is so close.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
But right now, this might be. I'm not sure about the delays right now.
I think MNF is going to take it. MNF is going to take it down. MNF is going to the finals. That's it.
Going on to the finals.
NA boys.
The former champions are beaten by NA.
And QT 7 seconds behind.
Oh my god! Who would have thought this 1 year ago? Saying that an NA team is going to come along and take this away from QT.
A difference of 7 seconds. That is the most impressive, most tense fight we've seen.
Yeah.
What?
My heart just stopped.
Velgarian split face. That Velgarian split.
Woohoo! Okay. All right. It is now time. I think we will allow MNF to have a little break. Okay, if they want one, of course. I'm actually going to go ahead and ask if they want a break. Before we go into this, because of course they have just played, and this is going to be a best of 3, so this is going to take a little bit of time. So I think it is only fair that we give them a little bit of time just to recuperate, get a bit of a break, you know, get back in the zone, have a little bit of calmness, and we're going to talk about what's going to happen, guys. Okay, wow, what an absolutely insane game there, guys.
What a great match.
7
both
seconds
teams, both
in it.
teams, right? And I mean, yeah, people are gonna meme now, right? But QT did this so well as well, right? Let's take a step back and
Yeah. We really do have
QT
to say that.
Coming back to this game basically out of a break and practicing for this, we have to appreciate it, right? And QT has been playing like 3 rounds in a row now as well. There's definitely some good performances here on every side.
Definitely.
Yes. It really is.
Both parties, it has been amazing to watch.
Yeah, it has been incredible. Just how close it really got there, and even with different approaches, there were different approaches, and it was still so very close. And you know what, guys? This is so exciting because that means as we scroll over to the bracket here, guys, let me just adjust the actual result of the bracket there. There we go, and this means, my friends, that the grand final, guys, your grand final is going to be Snow Crows versus Meth and Faxes. This is the best of EU versus the best of NA, guys.